There is a candle in every soul, some brightly burning, some dark and cold. There is a spirit who brings a fire, ignites a candle, and makes it so. So carry your candle, run to the darkness, seek out the hopeless, confused and torn. Hold on your candle for all to see it. Take your candle, go light your world. Take your candle, go light your world. Frustrated brother, see how he's tried to light his own candle, sun away. See how your sister, she's been robbed and lied to, still holds a candle without a flame. So carry your candle, run to the darkness, seek out the lonely, the tired and torn. Hold out your candle for all to see it. Take your candle, go light your world. Take your candle, go light your world. So carry your candle, run to the darkness, seek out the hopeless, the tired and worn. Hold out your candle for all to see it. Take your candle, go light your world. Take your candle, go light your world. 'Cause we're a family whose hearts are blazing. So let's raise our candles and light up the sky. Pray to our Father in the name of Jesus. Make us a beacon in darkest time. So carry your candle, run to the darkness, seek out the hopeless, confused and torn. Hold out your candle for all to see it. Take your candle, go light your world. Take your candle, go light your world. So take your candle, take your candle, go light your world. Take your candle, go light your world.
Timazi Africa is a non-denominational student ministry that spreads the gospel through 4 specific areas: Timazi Teachers, Timazi Magazine, the Timazi Readership Challenge, and Timazi Movies, each with a goal to reach students all over the country with wholesome biblical content and discipleship resources. Teachers remain the most strategic people who can minister to high school students.
One thing we stand for at Timazi is that the Word of God is the only standard by which to live. Hallelujah.
Currently, we are training 30 future teachers through a 2-year discipleship program that helps to see teaching not only as a job but as a calling and equips them for future ministry. We seek to give them a biblical basis to spend their lives in school, show them the need and the opportunity of service, and to show them their strategic place in it. We do this by discipling the future teachers, developing discipleship resources for use in the schools, and organizing for specialized seminars for teachers in service. Timazi Magazine is the only magazine specially designed and packaged for the Christian high school student as a teaching and instructional discipleship tool. We endeavor to respond to contemporary issues and challenge high school students to value and practice high moral standards, integrity, and character.
Timazi, to me, in one word, is sound doctrine on real-life issues that we high schoolers face.
3 times a year, we have a print run of over 10,000 copies, distributed through a prepaid subscription to over 370 schools and direct sales to another 1,500 schools. Our average readership currently stands at over 300,000 students. Timazi Readership Challenge was founded as a response to the lack of a reading culture amongst the general populace of students, as reading is often limited to academia. The Readership Challenge is an annual event that brings together high school students who are subscribed to the magazine from all over the country. We carefully select a Christian book that is easy to read, biblically sound and relevant, and then partner with a Christian publisher to provide the book at a subsidized cost. The books are then distributed at the beginning of the year through the Christian unions. Students get the book, read it, come up with a report using specific guidelines. The reports are then graded and students are awarded at the gala, where they often get to meet the author of the book. Working in conjunction with the publishers, the books are then donated to the libraries of the participating Christian unions. Media plays a pivotal role in shaping the minds and the hearts of youth. Using Timazi movies, we equip schools with wholesome and alternative entertainment that can be used as part of the learning process, is helpful in developing life skills and expanding knowledge, and is consistent with a biblical worldview. Through this program, Timazi selects and distributes 12 different wholesome movies for each school term for a period of 3 years. We also conduct media literacy training on how to analyze movies to ensure that these values carry on in the schools. In the immediate future, we plan to set up and run Timazi Africa to run independently. We want to strengthen internal structures to take care of Timazi's growth and build a strong financial stable working structure, which will allow for consistency and improvement of the quality of resources and tools. With Timazi Teachers, we hope to grow to have multiple teaching hubs across Kenya and East Africa. Our eventual goal is to get to 1 hub for every 5 counties. We are trusting God to expand Timazi Magazine's coverage to English-speaking Africa and create centers across Africa where Timazi can be shared, with the magazine being customized to deal with issues facing each particular country. We aim to expand and include writing workshops for African students to develop their writing and learn how to share their faith through literature. We hope to work with publishers to provide books at an affordable price, while building libraries across Kenya, as well as setting up Christian mobile libraries to grant students greater access to good literature. We hope to provide better avenues to get alternative entertainment that students can confidently share with others. It is our desire that we'll be able to avail these entertainment resources consistently to the students here and abroad. We've come a long way, and our mission to provide wholesome biblical resources to nurture our youth has only just begun. By sharing the gospel with those at this young impressionable age, we aim to build men and women who are just, who love kindness and worship God. We need your help to keep this going and to reach students across Kenya and Africa with these life-changing truths.
Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. Okay, I think my profile read quite a bit about what we do, but in a very short form, our vision is called to women. And when we reach out to women, we are speaking to the children as well. First, we started with an NGO. I tell people I registered it as an NGO because I didn't want to register it as a church. Okay, so it's a ministry that was given to me, and it's either I register it as a church or as an NGO. So I preferred to go the NGO line because I didn't want to register it as a church. So it's so when I talk about the NGO, I need you to understand that it is a ministry just under the guise of an NGO. So what we do is we empower women. We're in Lagos State, by the way. We go to the less privileged areas all around Lagos. We've been to Ibadan, we've been to some other states. So we reach out to them, we actually go out to them wherever they are, and we educate the women, the need for every woman, the reason why every woman should make a living for herself. So it's not just enough to sit down and make babies at home. It's important that everybody, like I always tell people, before you became Mrs. Something, you were first this person. So before I became Mrs. Odebi, I was first Lara. God created Lara, not Mrs. Odebi. So he had a vision, he had a plan, he had a purpose for Lara. So who is Lara? So we educate women to find out who exactly they are before they became that woman, that mother, or that wife. So in the course of that, we help every woman to understand that no matter how little it is, you need to support your family. In the course of the questions, I'm going to go back to how that happened and why that is. But basically, that's what we do for the less privileged women. So we go to meet them in their homes. For 3 months, we are spending time with them, teaching them and training them. Some have graduated as photographers, some have graduated as hairdressers and caterers and all, and they are now serving in the marketplace. One of my photographers take pictures now at one of the biggest hotels in Lagos, a Eco Hotel. So it's not just us training them, we also train them to be able to enter into the marketplace and compete in the market, even as wherever they're coming from, they can compete with the market with whatever they have been trained with. So we've done that since 2007. We've been able to empower over 1,500 women across Lagos and some other states. So we work with widows, we work with single mothers and all of that. And in the course of the year, we started the Dabira conference that caters for the middle class women like you and I, where we train women, we empower them, we have seminars, we have trainings that help them to get educated and get informed in whatever it is they're doing. So it is not just enough to be good at what you do, you need to also be able to improve yourself. So that is what the other part of, so we call it the Dabira Network. So under the Dabira Network, we have quite a lot of things, initiatives under it. So we also get the same set of women to go out and reach out to the children. So we educate women to understand that as we are empowering you, we also need you to empower the children around you. So it's not just your child, but the children around you. So what we do is, so we call that women educating girls. So we go to schools, the undeveloped schools, to mentor the girls, to talk to the girls. Some of the girls don't have training, proper training from home. Some of them don't have parents that talk to them about things going on around them. But when they find people that they can talk to as counselors, so we train these women like counselors to be able to enter into that system and be able to educate the children that are not from our wombs. So in other words, we're trying not to reach out to just the women, but to also reach out to the next generation, because after us, the children that comes up needs to be impacted to be able to go on to the next generation, So what we're doing is a generational thing. And I say that we go through the women because we know that when a woman is empowered, when a woman is being given a skill, she would definitely pass it down to the children and make sure that the children gets educated or whatever it is. So that is that aspect of Dabira. The conference is an annual conference, and it sits a lot of women coming from all over the states. So that conference helps women to. The difference between that conference and the seminars and all of that is this one stages a whole large crowd of people where they can come under one roof, just like this conference. They can come under one roof and get empowered, get informed, get connected, get networked in the areas of their lives, every area of their life, talking about marriage, talking about business, talking about career, talking about parenting, talking about everything. So it is an all-compassing thing for women. It is a vision given to reach out to women in every area that is a woman can be pointed to. And we also have the Dabura magazine. I actually brought about 80 copies of one of the printed magazines here. So I first said they should give it out to the women. But looking at the attendance, I think it should be, but maybe they should give it out to the women first, and then the rest can be given to the men so they can give it to their wives at home. Alright, so I'm not a feminist, by the way. I'm not a feminist, but my vision is for the women. When people tell me, this thing you do for Dabira, why don't you do it for the men? I tell them I'm not called for the men. God has laid it upon other people that He has called some other people for men. So I'm sure you'll be fantastic about it. So I'm not a feminist, I'm not carrying out my duty. Thank you.
Praise God. Now, let me quickly highlight a few things that she has said. She talked about, Rose, don't distracted. She talked about the vehicle for the vision. Many of us are going to come to that very quickly. Is it going to be an NGO? Is it going to be a church? Actually, for some people, your vision is going to be a job. The vision you're supposed to run is going to be a job. People like Daniel, their vision was run in their job. Okay? So the vehicle, she mentioned the vehicle. It's important for us to get clarity about the vehicle with which the vision is going to be run. And then she also talked about the focus of the vision. God doesn't scatter us all over the place. Okay? For Paul, he said, you're an apostle to who? The Gentiles. Okay? It was very clear. It may increase over time, but there's always clarity about the vision at any point in time. So let's get clarity. We'll swing over to John now and ask him, how did you receive the vision?
Okay, good afternoon everyone. I must first say that it's a great honor for this invitation, and I pray that by sharing our story, there will be many who will be encouraged today to follow God in the unknown. I would say that my discovery of what we are doing today at Timazi is a long journey, cumulative with different pointers at which God had been ministering to us. I converted when I was a 30-year student in the university. And my first time when I became conscious about God wanting me to be involved in what He is doing is during a missions conference that happened in the year 2000. And it is that the scripture that was used by the preacher, 2 Corinthians chapter 5 and verse 15. And He died for all, but those who live will no longer live for themselves. And I was confronted with the truth of the Lordship of Jesus. And it is in that conference that I submitted myself to God and said, God, whatever you want me to do. And I remember answering the altar call. I didn't know what that would mean. I did not have any understanding. But I nevertheless responded to God at that point. After that, when I went, I had just finished the university, and I was given a few books to read. The ministry that had organized the conference made follow-up meetings. So we had 2 follow-up meetings after the main conference for all the students who had responded to the altar call. And we were introduced to other organizations that had internship programs. And I got an internship program at one of the organizations, ministries, organization that had partnered with the IFES movement in our own country. And I remember reading books like, Is That Really You, God? Written by Lauren Cunningham, the founder of Youth to the Mission. I also remember reading a book called Bruchko. If you've not read Bruchko, please get that book. It's done by Bruce Wilson, the story about a 19-year-old who went to do evangelism in South America. And when I read these stories, I became baffled about what am I doing with my own life. And I joined them in the internship. And after joining them for the internship, I was given and I was asked to serve in the high school ministry. And that's where I began serving under the leadership then. And 4 years later is when we started feeling a bit frustrated, and we continued praying. And I would go preaching to schools. So all my weekends, I would spend them in different schools around the country. So I would leave the home every day on Friday, and I would come back on Monday, and I probably would have gone to 2 to 3 schools that weekend, casting out demons, preaching for the salvation of students, laying hands on students to be healed, filled of the Holy Spirit. And after 4 years, I think we were so tired, and we kept repeating the same process. It is at that time that we gathered together with the brethren that we were preaching with, and we asked ourselves, how can we share the news and the sermons that we've been preaching in these schools to many more schools? And that's when the idea of Timazi Magazine was born.
Thank you. I'll let John pause here so that we can take in some of the things that he has said. Firstly, what struck me at first is that he seems to have an anchor scripture that drives his life. Okay? That he died for all, so that they who live no longer live unto themselves, but live for him. Most visions that go far, you will find that they are anchored in some conviction. There's a pivotal scripture that drives many of those visions. That's something you might want to ask the Lord about. But interestingly, you will find out that his vision didn't come suddenly in a dream. Okay? Or some clear loud voice speaking from heaven. I know many of us think that that's the only way to receive a vision, right? It's not always the case. So for Jeremiah, God said to him, before you were in your mother's womb, I knew you, and I have ordained you. You're going to be a prophet to the nations. Did Abraham receive such a vision? They did. Not in that clear term. Now, the first thing how God dealt with Abraham was by obedience. He said, Abraham, move and go. And the Bible says that Abraham left, not knowing where he went. So he didn't receive that sort of clear vision from the beginning. But as he walked in obedience, the vision became clear. And God said, I'm going to bless you, and then all the nations of the earth are going to be blessed through you. Now it starts to get clearer, right? But obedience. And that's what I see in John's story. Just following, and then at some point God said, okay, do Timazi because you'll be able to reach more people. There's also something else you said. You said at some point you were frustrated about the effectiveness of going every weekend to preach. Frustration can actually birth a vision. If you read Habakkuk, in chapter 1, Habakkuk was frustrated. He said, justice is falling in the streets. No one is doing right. And then in chapter 2, he said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and sit in my workplace and hear what God has to say about this. So when you're frustrated and then you go and say to God, look, I'm going to sit down here until you say something about this situation. What then came forth was that God said, oh, there's a vision. It's for an appointed time. If it delays, wait for it. Okay, so frustration is a good thing. Okay? So we're seeing some pointers to how we can receive a vision, right? Someone asked some very interesting questions here, but I'll save them for later. I'm going to come back to Lara now. So you received the vision. How did you start? What's next? God has spoken to someone here, has spoken to a brother here, has spoken to a sister here. Tomorrow after the video, They go off to Jos, Makurdi, they go off to some far place. What do you do next when you receive a vision?
Let me start by how I received my vision. Like I said, it's not everybody that would hear the voice of the Lord loudly. For some, actually, hear it loudly. Okay, so I'm in that category of people that heard loudly. I was saying to my sister yesterday, I said, if I had a choice, I would probably want to work in an oil company and make some money, like pool money. Yes. But I was captured at the age of 16. I heard God clearly at the age of 16. I didn't even know what to do at that time, but I remember that one thing I did, I'm sure it was the Holy Spirit that led me to do that, because I didn't even know God at that time. Because I took a small book and I wrote it down. Now, I had a dream after that. And this dream, I had it 3 times in my life before I started. So between the age of 16 to 2007, I had 10 years to prepare. So God spoke to me at the age of 16, I started 2007. Now, the thing is, sometimes when God speaks to us and tells us this is what He wants you to do, it doesn't mean that you get up now and get going. Sometimes it needs you. Sometimes it may take 5 years, sometimes 10. Sometimes it may be tomorrow. So you need to find out from Him. The person that spoke to you, go back to him and hear and ask him, what exactly do you want me to do about this? How do you want me to do it? When do you want me to do this thing? God is a very specific God. I can tell you that clearly. And I will share something very briefly with you. When I started my conference, the very first conference I had, God told me clearly, prepare for 50 people. I'm trying to give you an example of how specific God can be when He gives you a vision. Or He sends you on an assignment. He said, prepare for 50. I actually went out. I went to the hall, asked for a hall for 50. They gave me the hall and all that. Now, by the time I started speaking to 1 or 2, 3 people, and that's why you have to be careful about the people you share your vision with. By the time I started talking to people, everybody said, oh, this is a very great idea. We need to expand it. We need to publicize it. We need to do this. We need to do that. And then we started expanding. I'm like, that 50 will not be enough. By the time women come out. So I went back to the hall and said, please, do you have a hall that takes more than 50 people? They said, oh yes, we have one for 200. I said, perfect. So I paid for a 200 capacity hall. Made food for 200, free food. On the day of the event. This story I'm telling you is one story in my life I will never forget, and it will always put me back on track every time I want to deviate. I got on the stage, I looked at everybody. I called my PA. I said, count the number of people, including me, count the number of people in this place. It was exactly 50. My food was wasted, my money was. People were packing food. One person would pack like 10. But what am I trying to say? God is a specific God. So if He gives you an assignment, He tells you something, He tells you to do something, please go back to Him and ask Him. I ask God 5 questions. Any time He tells me to do anything, I ask Him 5 questions. If He doesn't give, if I don't hear, He has not answered me those 5 questions, I will not start it until He tells me exactly, He gives me those answers. I ask Him what He wants me to do with what He has asked me to do. Where He wants me to have it is as important as that. Where does He want you to have it? Is it in Abuja? Is it on the island? Is it in Ajegule? Let's be specific with that. How does He want you to run it? I remember once when God told me, Lara, I want you to be excellent in what you're doing because I am an excellent God. And that is one of the reasons why I put my all into everything that I do, because I don't want to give Him anything short of excellence. He asked for it and I'm going to give it to Him. So because I'm a Christian does not mean that we can just patch it. We can patch. The world, the people in the world, they put everything into what they're doing. They bring out the best. So what happens to us? Why can't we give our God the best of the best? So ask him, how does he want you to do it? Who are the people he wants you to do it with? He will tell you, is it 0 age, babies of 0 age to babies of to 2 years old, or the older people, 80s and above? He will tell you exactly. Have I said 5? 4, okay. When he wants you to do it, when exactly does he want you to do it? So I have people call me and say, oh, so when is this program this year? And I said, I've not heard from God. They know me. When I say I've not heard from God, they step back. Because until I hear, it is as serious as the speakers that will speak at my conference. I've been praying and fasting about them months before. I need God to tell me, to lead me to the speakers that will come on that stage. Do I make mistakes? Yes, I do. Because sometimes I disobey. So it's not like rocket science. But when I obey, I see the result. Perfect. So when you live here, like you said, God has spoken to you. Go back to him and ask him those 5 questions. I call them my 4 W's and H and an H. When, how, who, what, and then when, where, how, when, where, who, what, and how. The H is the how. So 4 W's. I have not gone wrong since I started using that. It's not a formula, but it's something that has worked for me. It's something the Holy Spirit gave me, and I'm sharing it because we are one in God, and God operates to each and every one of us the same way as long as he wants to achieve his aim.
Praise God. Thank you for breaking it down somewhat, and again to recap some of the key points. The first thing she said was that you need to write it down. Right? Habakkuk chapter 2. Write his vision. Make it plain. Make it clear. So that it may run that reads it. The vision needs to be compelling. It needs to make you run. And this thing she just shared about was when she's saying that it's not, you're not going to find it in chapter this or chapter that, but it's a principle, okay, that we need to get details. And you will see many of the people who work with God, they got those details. So for instance, to Habakkuk, he said, the vision is for an appointed time. When? He said, and even if it looks as if it's wasting time, there's an appointed time for it. And if you're looking at how or who you go with, there are many people who wanted to go into battle, and God will say, don't go with this people. When Gideon was going to go into battle, he said, you need to do a filter test. Anybody that drinks this way is not part of that vision. Let him stay back. So God will give answers to whom will go with you, how you're going to do it. When they were building the temple, when Solomon was building the temple, this is my constituency. God told them he didn't want to hear the sound of hammers in the temple. So everything was to be prefabricated. So the rocks they were going to do, they were supposed to cut it in the quarry. And then just bring it to the temple and place it solemnly. So that's how. Okay, so God is specific about the things that he wants us to do. I hope we're taking those notes. John, we're coming back to you now. So I'd like to ask, specifically about Timazi. So deciding to publish a magazine is one thing. Having the know-how to publish it is another thing. Lara was talking about excellence. Many of us think that we can pray ourselves into everything. Prayer is foundational. Hello? It's foundational. But there's also skill. When God would have the dresses made for the priests, the Bible says that he anointed who? Bezalel and Oholiab to do cunning works. So he anointed them with skill. So what I'm going to ask John is, publishing is a very intricate, business. Can you sort of tell us how God brought you into the right level of skill and competence to be able to do it as well as you've done it.
Good. Let me add to what I had said earlier. Before I attended this conference, we had spent many hours of prayer every day. This was a culmination of a long period that had become a culture of praying for revival. We were praying for the revival of Africa, and we would go for an overnight prayer for 2 days in a week. So we used to spend the whole of Wednesday, the whole night, and Friday, the whole night in prayer. Later on, I think after that 1 year, I now remain with just one Friday that we will do overnight, and I think I've backslidden now. But I think I attribute that a lot to part of how God brought us to the place of responding to Him in that sense. And also, one of the speakers at the conference had spoken about the great need for student ministries in Africa. We were given the maps showing us how far the gospel has gone. We were told about how much students have impacted missions in the past. I remember hearing about the Moravians and how they sustained 100 years of prayer. And that made my heart want to be involved in students' ministry. So part of it was the information that we received from the speakers, but also it was the scriptures that were spoken. And together they converged at the students' place. So at the point when we felt we needed to do a publication, I studied chemistry myself. So I looked for 3 other brethren who all had done English in the university, and they were brethren, and I invited them to a meeting. And that's when I shared with them what I feel God wants us to do. And I told them, I can't do that thing, but I want you guys to join me, and this needs to be done. And interestingly, they all agreed. In fact, Timazi did not come from me. Timazi came from one of the 3 other friends that I called together. All of them were teachers, and all of them had done English. So we asked, what would be the identity of this magazine? And I remember the other teachers saying, we would love that this magazine would help the born-again Christian student be able to think and act from the scriptures, and for it to become a discipleship tool in the hands of a teacher. So he said, then we needed to be straight and true. And out of saying straight and true, the other one saying, straight, there's a tool in Swahili, the plumb line. I don't know what you call the plumb line in your plumb line. In your local languages, but in Swahili it's called Timazi. So Timazi is basically plumb line. And that's how the name Timazi came attached to the magazine. And so we began it with 3 other friends. Even though I was not doing the writing. God had just laid it in my heart. They would do the writing, and actually I have never done any writing for that magazine. I tried once, and the rest of the people told me, don't try again. It was terrible. It took too long, and I wrote something that people could not really digest.
Thank you so much for sharing this insight, John. I think there's something for us to learn here, okay? Some of us, we hug division too much, okay? John didn't hug division like that. Division typically requires that you travel the routes with many other people. He sought out the people that don't want telling the who, okay? Sometimes the reason division is stunted is because we are taking too much ownership of it. And we're not allowing anyone else get involved. Sometimes because we want to take all the credits. Okay? Sometimes. You see, giving out all the credit here. He's here representing Timazi, but he could have told us, oh, he was handling everything by himself. Neither one of us, none of us would know any different. Because we're not going to go and find out, right? So, finding out who. Now, you mentioned that you studied chemistry. didn't study literature or publishing and all of that. So he got people who had the competence. Okay? We must be willing to bring people who have the things that we lack, and we travel with them. It's important. It's an important key step in birthing any vision. That we find people who have the things that we lack, and then we travel with them. I'm still expecting your questions. Please write your questions and bring them forward. We're going to go into the question sessions very quickly. But I want us to move on to challenges that we face in birthing a vision. If you have picked a number of the things they've said, like I said, sometimes she disobeyed and things didn't quite work out right. Okay? John said he hasn't prayed as much as he used to pray. Okay, so we want to discuss some of the challenges that they have faced, because they are men of like passion, right? Some of the challenges that they faced. This question is one example of that. So I'm going to kick off on the notes of this question. Maybe that will spur some of us to write our own questions. This question is to Lara. It says, did you encounter women who had visions or wanted to pursue or do something that their husbands were not in full support of? How did you manage that? As a married woman, how can I pursue a vision that is different from or slightly different from my husband's? This is a challenge, right? You have a vision, it doesn't seem to align with your husband's vision. Have you encountered women like that? So, what's your counsel to them?
So, the thing is, it's not every one of us that will have husbands that God or the angels will speak to. That will have, yes, that the angels will speak to their husbands, just like the angels spoke to Joseph or Mary. God helped me, because when I was going to start this calling, he specifically told me, even though I wasn't ready to get married at that time, he told me, he said, you're going to marry, I'm going to give you a pillar to your ministry. I didn't know what that was. Maybe at that time I even had about 4 to 5 guys that were that wanted to marry me at the time. But when he gave me that word, I started praying about it, because I didn't want to miss that word. I wasn't ready at that time, but he had already given me the word, so I started praying about it. My husband was already there. He was there as a friend, so I wasn't even looking at him in any way. But the thing is, when he proposed to me, I took that small book that I told you that I wrote everything God tells me, just write them and just write them. Very small, I still have it up to today. And I gave it to him. I said, read it and call me back. He read it. All I was expecting was, because it's a whole lot, I can't begin to start sharing that right now. It's a whole lot in that book. I can tell you, yes, I've achieved a whole lot from that book, but there's still a whole lot inside. So it will take a man that is ready to fulfill and to help a woman to fulfill her destiny, that would read that book and still go ahead. So I was expecting to come here and say, you know what? I told him from day one, I said, I will never be a 9 to 5, because I know what I'm going for. It's not going to be easy. He smiled. He came back and was smiling at me. And I said, it's okay. I looked at him and I was like, really? Are you sure you want to go down this lane? He said, yes, it's okay. And I can tell you for a fact that up to today, it has been a pillar to that ministry. I have never for once regretted having that kind of person. And that's why I can feel what I am feeling right now. So for those that are married to men that do not have that kind of they're not carrying along with your vision. The only thing I can say to you, and I'll say it over and over and over again, we Christians, we always miss the path of the Holy Spirit helping us. I will never take everything I have been doing till today. I have never missed that part. There are times I want to cook food that I don't know how to cook. I call the Holy Spirit, I cook the food and the food comes out good. That's how much I invite the Holy Spirit into my life for every single thing that I do. When I got married, my mother was afraid. And the question was, she was afraid that she did not teach me how to cook. I was the only girl in my family, so they spoiled me. I did not know how to cook. So the first day she came after I got married, she said her house was pounding like I was going to cook in our marriage. And then I got it. I just said, I said, please, I said, what? She said, you want someone to do? I said, no. She said, the Holy Spirit, she just looked at me like this. She doesn't understand. But I say it everywhere that I go. If I want to, if you call, give me Igbo soup, I'm not Igbo, give me Igbo soup, I tell you to cook it today, I'll cook it and you like it. Because I'm inviting somebody that knows how to. When I got married, I went on my knees and I told God, I said, Holy Spirit, I don't know anything. I do not know anything at all. So as I'm going into this man's house, you're my handbag, I'm going in with you. And I have always, every time, even when we have issues in my home, I go back and I say, Holy Spirit, you see what God has done now. I'm very upset right now. And sometimes the Holy Spirit tell me, get up and go and talk to him, even though he's the one that's wrong. So when you invite the Holy Spirit to everything you do, trust me, you don't have a challenge. The challenge will be sorted. So that issue of your husband not flowing with your vision, go on your knees. Get the Holy Spirit involved. You'll be surprised at what you'll say. I'm not going to give you any formula. There's no formula to this. There's no formula. The only person that can change somebody's mind is God. So why are you giving yourself a headache, fighting and saying that, but God has asked me to do it, so you have to allow me to do it. Do what? He does not agree with it. So how are you going to go? It's not by fight. You can't fight it. So he doesn't believe in what you are doing, then go and meet somebody, the person that asked you to do it. So talk to him. We have seen the example right from the days of the old Joseph and Mary. So what are we waiting for? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Key takeaways that we need to pray. Okay. The Bible says the heart of the king is where? The hands of the Lord. He turns it. So if you want God to turn the man's heart to that vision, it's prayer. Hallelujah. It's prayer. I pray God will help the person who asked this question. Now, okay, John, yes, you want to?
One of the challenges we had when we started getting involved in the Timazi, and probably even slightly earlier before Timazi was born, was the fact that I joined a ministry organization right after the university. My wife didn't. She was 4 years behind me. So when she appeared in the university, she went to work for a bank. And what would happen is she was a computer scientist, so she used to work in the bank as a system administrator. So she used to work even night shifts. So most of the weekends, when I'm going out to the schools, is when she's coming back. So we would hardly sometimes meet each other. And our marriage started feeling the tension and the pressure of the demand of the ministry. And at that point I started crying out to God. Because personally at her level she was not interested at the very beginning with teenagers. I remember one time when we were newly married and she came back home in the evening after having a rough time at work, and she found teenagers full in the house. They were sitting on the sofas, they had put the cups everywhere, some others were in the kitchen on top. And she looked at the place and I could tell, I didn't know what to tell. But when I started going back to the scriptures, and the scriptures talking about how God raises a wife as a helpmeet, a help that is meet to the husband, and we started praying about it. And one of those days I just challenged her, would you want to really write for this magazine? Where do you feel you fit in into the whole of this Timazi issue? And she told me, I've never written. I don't like teenagers like you do. I don't feel like I fit anywhere in this. So she told me, just go ahead. And I gave her a platform to write. And when she did, when the article came back from the editor was very good. He was a very skilled man. It was so mutilated. She felt so discouraged. And I gave her the encouragement again. To cut it short, after a few, one or two, the editor started liking her stories. And today she's actually the editor of Timazi. She gradually found her place where she would plug in. And 3 years later, she resigned from the bank and joined me full time. So we are now serving together, and she does the bulk of, she's now the editorial director. So she's the one who directs the content that now we write. And for me, that was a great joy to have my wife alongside with me, because sometimes I would come after the weekend, I tell her the good stories of how teenagers are gotten saved, the ones that Newcastle was coming out, the ones, that did not know how to, that were not taking care of the exams, and how she's waiting for me to finish so that she tells me how her boss is harassing her. And it would be such an anticlimax. And I would feel like our lives are actually parting away as the time is going by. Now today the story is different, and now we work together in the same office, and it's such a blessing to have my wife alongside me.
That's an awesome testimony, right? It's not only when we come and say, brethren, the Lord has done it. This is an awesome testimony of God's word. And to also add that we require a lot of wisdom, okay, and patience in bringing alignment, okay. I remember one woman in scripture, and may God make, our sisters a woman of such wisdom. Her name is Abigail. Okay, she was married to this completely terrible guy called Nabal. Okay, and Nabal misbehaved, and David was going to take his head off. Okay, and the woman heard that David was on his way. What did she do? You don't remember that story? She sent a message to David. My husband, he said, can touch sometimes. It's not very okay, But it really doesn't mean that thing that he said and all of that. And that's how she saved that family. Because David was coming with his men and they were going to essentially wipe them off. Okay, so we need for God to give us that sort of wisdom. That even if our husbands are not catching the vision, we have the vision, the understanding and the wisdom of God to salvage the situation. God will help us in Jesus' name. Now, there's a question here that says, how do you draw the line between the God-given vision and passion? Who wants to volunteer and answer?
Okay. One of the key books that has helped me to shape my philosophy of ministry is a book called Experiencing God by Dr. Henry Blackaby. And Dr. Blackaby shares about you watching what God is doing and you joining what God is doing. Now, we are living at a time when there is a movement called the Human Potential Movement. And the Human Potential Movement is a branch of the New Age religion that exalts the self and is used a lot by secular motivational speakers who tell you to cook a dream in your head, to close your eyes and imagine where you want to be in 10 years, and then to work diligently to deliver on that which you have cooked in your head. That is a Babel strategy. You will build a tower of Babel that way. And the danger with it is that it works. That is the greatest danger with it. It works. Because the people at the Tower of Babel would have succeeded had not God intervened. I find that what becomes king is what God wants done. And what God wants done, God later on gives you a passion for it. If at that point in time, you've not yet developed a passion. So passion is not king when it comes to fulfilling what God wants done. Like Jesus would say, I watch what my Father is doing. My Father is always at work. So I do what I see my Father do. So it has been a rule to my heart and my life in ministry. I don't actually do what I really like. It's not all the things that I do that I really like. I do what I know God wants done, whether I love it or I don't like it. If I love it, praise the Lord. If I don't like it, praise the Lord. All the same. Like for instance, I would say that Timazi is not what I would call my passion. My passion as an individual, or maybe what I enjoy as a human being, I think is speaking. I preach more even in the team than I do in publishing. And I've had to even go for training to learn how to do publishing. That's where I met Lara. When we went in 2011 in India, I had gone just to learn how do I actually learn how to do this thing that God wants done. So for me it was obedience and submission to the Lordship of Christ Jesus, not based on my capacities and not based on my passions and not based on my preferences.
Thank you very much, John. We're going to come to Lara. There's so many questions pouring in now. So what we're hearing John say is that God is not restricted to work with what you are passionate about. He may. But God is more concerned about what he is passionate about. Okay? Peter was perhaps passionate about fishing. Okay?
I think so too.
God said fishing is okay, but I don't want you to fish for fish. I want you to fish for men. Okay? And the different strategies, different approaches, different objectives. So God can disrupt, what we think we want. But I think Lara has some insight that she wants to share. So we're going to go for that.
To shed more light into what he said, I totally agree with what he said. And I also agree with your fisher of men and fisher of fishes. And I'm going to marry them together. Each and every one of us did not just jump from heaven down here for nothing. There's a purpose why we are all created. And God expects each and every one of us to find. It's becoming a cliche when people say, find your purpose, find your purpose. Everywhere you go, every conference you go, they'll say, find your purpose, find your purpose. But the truth is, yes, we need to believe in our purpose. And if you don't know why you are here, you begin to live life in other ways. Your passion, I can marry it to your purpose because what you love doing, if you look at it very well, something you love doing or something you want to do is tied down to something you are meant to do. You are a fisherman. You are fishing for fish. But God is directing you now to fish for men. But you started with fishing for fish. So you are learning from the onset, you are learning the process right from start. Before I was called at 16, I was doing certain things that I did not know were tied to my destiny. I love doing them, but I never knew 20 years, 25 years down the line, it's tied to my destiny. I never knew I would be writing. I never knew I'll have a conference. I never knew I would be doing all the things I'm doing right now. But if I look back at those things I used to do in those years, trust me, they are married together. So God is not a God of confusion. He gives you strength to do something. He gives you power, he gives you grace to do something. Trust me, there's something he wants to achieve from it. So that passion you are looking at right now, and you think is probably different from what God has called you to do or your purpose in life. Look deep very well, or give it time. You will find out that it's tied, somehow tied to what you are actually meant to come and do here on earth.
Thank you. So what we're taking away, you can keep that, is that God uses everything in our experiences to prepare us for the work that He wants us to do for Him. Okay? Even your suffering, the Bible says that the reason God allows some of the suffering you go through is so that the comfort you receive, you can also comfort other people when they go through that thing. So God uses everything. Now I'll try and run through some of these questions quickly. Some of them have been answered already. This one says, as a woman, you got married to a man that doesn't have the experience or encounter with the Holy Spirit. How will you go about it? There's a lot of what has been said that already answers that. You pray. The place of prayer is the first thing. Scripture talk. Okay, we're going to go into marriage session after now. Maybe this question can also. Any other questions that we don't answer now, in the course of the year on the WhatsApp group, they will be dealt with. So let me move on to the next one. It says, since you have the vision, while other people have the skills, how do you control the people with the skills to ensure that they adhere to the vision and purpose without deviation? I'll let this question be answered, but I'll say first of all that you should try not to control. You should try to lead. Okay? Maybe you want to say something about this, John. You have people who are working to run with the vision that God gave through you. How are you able to lead that team to focus on the vision?
Essentially, looking back, I do not consider myself like to own the vision of Timazi. I find it that that's something God wanted done in Africa. And God invited me into it. And in the same way that God invited me to what He wanted to do, He also invited other people into the same thing. And God also leads me and has led me, as I have shared what God is laying on my heart. I have found other people that God also share exactly the same things, and they connect and say, I identify with what you want to do. I have also had the same concern. And our hearts just click, and we become of a kindred spirit. And everything that God wants done, God also brings together all the people that He wants to accomplish that thing. And that has been my experience. I have met people, I remember we had a very bad design. We didn't know how to design the magazine as it is. We started crying out to God, and we asked for God to have mercy on us and send us a designer. And He did. The current designer we have, we can't even afford him. He's God sent to us. The teachers who serve with us are God sent to us. We share with them the vision, they identify with it. I would say it is much more of sharing the vision and finding who connects with it through prayer. And as you gather with such people, it is so crucial and important that we do not just look for everyone when we are thinking about building what God wants done. There is extremely important, a very serious step in building what God wants done is actually the team. I can't overemphasize that. The who is so important. It is so fundamental that actually Jesus first selected the 12, then gave the mandate. God always seems to have called people and then shared the mandate later. And there seems to be that setting apart. And as you, in terms of identifying who we look at, I didn't just look for people with skill. Maybe what I did say is that each of these men and women who have joined us have a burning passion in their hearts to walk under the Lordship of Christ, to do everything that God wants them, and also God seems to have laid a burden on their hearts for the same sector of teenagers that He has also laid on my heart. So I think it's a much more discovery. I don't know if I've answered the question well.
So, John is talking about, sort of like a connection that happens, a shared sense of vision that people have. Okay. Now, there are a number of questions that are sort of attached to it, and Lara is going to speak to them. So, for instance, this person says, so then how can one identify those in line with your vision? John has spoken about that. This person says, okay, this one they're talking about finances, and I want us to deal with that maybe as a last thing. There's so many other things here, but in addition to what you were going to say, there are clearly situations where people have joined the vision, and we discover that they don't belong to it. What do you do in addition to the things you're going to say?
First, three things on vision and the people that work with you, your team. First, you must find people that identify with your vision. And how do you do that? Of course, through prayer. Two, you try prayer. Prayer will always work, but let's put prayer on the side first. You will do trial and error many times, whether we like it or not. People will come into our lives, they will leave. People that do not understand our vision will come. Some would come, they understand the vision, they come, and then they go to start their own. So we have people like that are all around us. So apart from you finding the people that identify with your vision and are ready to stay with you and stick to what you're doing, you also need to pray along before you make these selections, before you bring people to you. So I'm bringing back prayer now. After before you pick people, you need to pray along. I remember the first 10 people that I called when I was going to start in 2007. I told you I had 3 dreams, the same dream 3 times in my life, at 16, at 20, and at 25. Same dream. And after the third dream, God said it's time. And then I spoke with about 10 of my friends. Out of the 10, only 3 are there today. The rest are gone. They carried along for like 3 years. Some went to start their own. Some I helped to start their own and they left. But 3 people actually told me, God told us that they are connected to this work. So there are people like that, and the only way you can find that out is by consistently praying, so that in the midst of your prayer, the one that is not meant to be there will go. I don't shy away from praying that God should remove people. It's true, because if you are not connected to my destiny, to what God wants me to do, then there's no point being here. So I pray it, and so anybody that comes to tell me, Lara, I prayerfully release them, because I know that our journey together has ended. God will bring the next person. So the second point I want to make outside you praying is that you lead by example. Just like I said, you don't control, you lead by example. When people see how you run your stuff, they will follow the way you have led. But when, for example, if you are not a disciplined person, you cannot be telling them to be disciplined. Because it's what they see that they follow. If you are not there, they cannot lead. Sometimes we have programs and I have to go out of the country. But the thing is, my mind is so much at rest because I know that my team will do exactly how I want it done. Why? Because I have led for 3 or 4 years by example non-stop. So now that God is now moving me elsewhere, they are able to follow through without any headache at all. Number 3, God's when God calls you, He's not saying that it's a lifetime calling. It is not a family. Family. What's yes. Why is this what? Like a family crown. It has to be within your family. From me to my son from my son to my grandchild. It is no. It doesn't happen like that all the time. So what I did was I started building a succession plan, so that if I die today, Dabira will stand, with or without me. So my team knows. If we have a program today, I can just so I don't have any particular person that say you are in charge of prayer forever. No. Tomorrow I can tell you are in prayer. Tomorrow you are the one organizing. All of you, I'm getting them all involved in all of the departments. So that if tomorrow I decide that you are going to head this thing, I am no longer there. Anybody can do it with or without you. So you need to build a succession plan alongside with your vision.
Yeah. So those are 3 key points. Let me try and see if we can tackle 2 more questions very quickly because we're out of time. This one, I think, the long and short of it is, how do they get the courage to start the vision that they believe God is laying in their heart? Let me say quickly that everyone who has had a real vision from God has always felt that they weren't up to it. Okay? Typically. When the angel came and met Gideon and said, "Oh, thou mighty man of valor," Gideon said, "Who exactly are you talking about?" When God told Isaiah to speak, Isaiah said, "I'm a man of unclean mouth. I can't go and prophesy." When he told Jeremiah he was going to be a prophet to the nation, Jeremiah said, "I'm just a young person." Okay, so it's okay to sense that you're not up to it. Actually, you're not. It is God who's going to do it. He just uses us, okay? So I'd like to encourage you to take courage in the Lord. The angel said to Gideon, "Go in this thy might." So I'll say the same thing to you. Go in this thy might. Now the other question that seems to have been repeated here is finances. And I want us to deal with that. How do you get funding to run the vision? Is funding even necessary? Okay? But quick points. Okay?
Publishing is a capital-intensive venture. At the very beginning, I think we were still spending about $10,000 every year, and we were typically a fundraising ministry. And I recall that when I shared that with the leadership, because I served under another leader for 14 years, and 3 of those is when Timazi was actually born. So we were still serving under that leadership. And maybe before I talk about the finances, I would say that majority of us, God will call you to actually work alongside someone else that He has given leadership to something that God wants done. I also feel that majority of the people are actually called to be part of something that somebody else has already begun. So sometimes don't kill yourself, wondering why God is not giving you your personal vision. Maybe you're called to be part of something that's already happening. But when that happened, we didn't have enough money. And I remember the ministry at first allowed to do funding. We tried to give out the magazine for free, and the students were not reading. So I discovered that was my lesson number 1, don't give things for free. People don't value free things. It was a bad lesson.
I'm sure Lara agrees very well with it.
Not necessary.
But she's about to give something for free. Anyway. But we discovered that that was not a model that we would be able to sustain financially. I still do give things for free, but I think we realized we can't really shape and have that as our model.
Nothing is really free ultimately. It costs somebody else something.
Yes.
Somebody is paying all the time. Somebody else is paying, not yourself. So when we got actually the first finances, is that we used our own money. We first used our own money and plowed it into it. Because if you believe in something and you're not willing to empty your wallet, you're not serious. It's actually one of the proofs whether you really believe what you're thinking. If you're able to go and empty your bank account and pour it into what God wants you to do. Secondly, is we share with our close friends. Those ones who are saying, yes, we believe what God will. We ask them, okay, fine. Put your money where your heart is. And they also gave some, and we printed. But at some point, it became so capital intensive that the leadership of the ministry said, we are not able to sustain this. And that was a watershed period for us. And I remember praying because they said, we need to abandon this Timazi thing at some point because we are not so sure whether this is sustainable for the long term. And we prayed about it. For about actually 1 year we did print because we were afraid of starting something we would not be able to sustain. And then God challenged us. Who told you? I mean, we felt challenged by God. Why did we think we can sustain it? We were worried about a future that we don't even hold about. So we went back into our bank, and how God encouraged us, we got a gift from an anonymous person who had never given to our ministry before, and they only gave one gift that was enough to pray for one issue. And that is what got us back. And after that, now we started applying many other ways of raising money. We got into advertising, we got into selling the magazine, we got into people giving to the magazine. So we now started having multiple sources of financing, even though it was not always enough, but it has kept us going.
So we will just hang on to the word multiple sources of financing, that God will use a variety of means. The ministry of Jesus, fish took part in the financing. So, multiple sources. Let's just be open to what God is going to do.
Okay, so very quickly, I remember one of the things I told God when He asked me to do what He asked me to do, is that I begged Him. I practically went on my knees, I begged Him. I said, God, don't send me to do anything that I'll have to go and be begging people for money. We know ourselves now. I know that I cannot, even to sell clothes and collect money for others. Where's my money? I can't do it. So talk less of going to go and be begging people, please, I have a program, I have this, I need money. So I begged God. It is an agreement between the two of us. Okay, so we started. And what God told me was to do these things for free. Yes. And people come on my platform and say that, you have thousands of women, and you know if you charge them 10,000 naira, do you know how much you would have put in your pocket? True. I'll go home, calculate it's true. It's real money. One day my son called me, my 13-year-old boy called me and said, Mommy, why do you even do this conference for free? Do you know if you charge 10,000 naira? Took calculator out. 13-year-old, that day I cried. Took calculator out and said, if you times it, do you know how much you get every year on this conference alone? And it will pay for all the things we have been doing all through. But after I cried, I'll go back to God and say, did you hear what he said? You know. But you know what? The Bible says that when He gives you something to do, and God asks you to do something, He will make provision for it. Don't let us put that side, that part of the Bible aside. He will make provision for His work. Except we are asking for too much. God knows exactly what you need for each program. He knows who to speak to for your program. The money doesn't have to come out of your pocket. He will bring people your way that will pave your way. We have done conferences like four times from our pocket. We would write companies, they would say, because you are a Christian group, we do not support Christian organizations. So I said, thank you. I'll write and I will not stop. I keep writing and they keep telling me the same thing, because you are a Christian organization. Yes, people will put that back on your face. So it's left you to now say, okay, do I still want to continue doing Christian, or I want to try and manage it so that
go mainstream.
Yeah, so that I can get organizations that can sponsor us. So they are not coming. But you know what? I kept on. After 4 years, a company called and said, we have been watching you for years. Every year, we watch what you do. So we decided that you will be the organization that will be giving CSR for your conference. So they pay for the conference. I did not go to meet them. I did not look for them. I don't even know who they are. But you know what God wanted? He just wanted to see my obedience. So sometimes, my own is just peculiar. I'm not sure if it goes wrong for everybody. But sometimes it needs obedience, consistency, and you being diligent at what you are doing. People are watching you. They are watching you. That helper will just come from nowhere and you will not know. You will just come from nowhere. And your stuff. The day I walked home and told my husband, you don't have to pay for the conference anymore. I did it with Shakara. I was looking at me like, what do you mean? I said, you don't have to pay for the conference anymore. He looked at me, I was like, are you kidding? In fact, my husband was jealous. You know when somebody feels that every time I give you money, I'm blessed. So now somebody is not giving you money. He tells me, I'll still give you money. I'll still give you the little I have. Don't take my blessing away. But in a nutshell, I'm just trying to say that God will always make provision. Even if, when it comes to funding and His work. In addition to what He said.
Praise the Lord. We're going to have to draw the curtains on that note. I hope the people who ask questions about finances will receive some encouragement. In case you haven't, what they have said is that God will provide. John said someone gave them an anonymous donation that printed one edition. Like I said, some company decided to commit to that. You know, you remember Elijah? You know, God sent him to a brook to go and live there and be eaten. And then at some point the brook dried up. You know, you and I are going to say, oh God, you sent me to this brook. Why is it dry? The reason it dried up is because God says, I have prepared a widow in Zarephath. So God can change the means by which He finances the vision. But He always has a means. He always has a means. We're going to draw the curtains on that note. On the WhatsApp group, we'll continue to talk about this, and God will help us. We have